Hey guys, what's going on? I just got done watching VHS Viral. It's the third film in the VHS franchise. If you haven't seen the first two VHS movies, I would definitely check them out. They're awesome horror movies. You can watch them on Netflix. First off, I just want to say I love the first two VHS movies. I have both of them on DVD. And being such a big fan of the first two VHS movies, I really enjoyed VHS Viral as well. A lot of early reviews of VHS Viral, I read people saying that it was the weakest in the series and it wasn't as good, and I would probably have to agree. It wasn't the best in the series, but it's still definitely a good time. With each sequel in the series, there seems to be a continuing trend of them kind of trimming the fat from the series and making them shorter and more watchable. For example, with the first one, I think there was 6 tapes. There was the wraparound and then 5 tapes. The second one, there's the wraparound and 4 tapes. And with this one, there's the wraparound and 3 tapes, which originally there was supposed to be an additional tape from Todd Lincoln, but for some reason they cut it last second, and I'll get into that a little more later. First off, the wraparound segment in VHS Viral is called Vicious Circles. Again, a lot of early reviews that I was seeing, a lot of people were saying that the wraparound segment was kind of hard to follow and it was probably the weakest part of the whole movie. And I can see why people would say that. It is pretty confusing and it's just kind of all over the place the whole time. In the first two movies, the wraparound segment was just people in a house watching some tapes, and it was pretty laid back and easy to follow. But with this one, it's just a bunch of kids chasing around this ice cream truck and like a police chase the whole time, and it's from a bunch of different perspectives, and it's just, there's a lot going on the whole time. So I didn't think the wraparound was that bad. The only real issue I had with it was it seemed to have a completely different vibe than the wraparound in the first two movies. It's just the whole idea of the tapes going viral at the end of the movie. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but when you watch the movie you'll see what I mean. Another thing about the wraparound is it seemed like they knew how they wanted to end it, and they just kind of went for that rather than trying to answer any questions or, you know, make any sense of the things that they established with the other films, and that was kind of a bummer. It seemed like it created more questions about like why the tapes affect you the way they do and what they're actually doing. It seemed like it created more questions about that rather than answering anything. The first tape that we watched is called Dante the Great. This tape is a lot different than all the other tapes that we've seen before, but it's still awesome. It's about this guy named Dante who basically goes from a nobody to a huge like somebody when he finds Houdini's cloak. He finds all this fame and success and everything seems to be awesome until he realizes that this cloak is, there's more to it than he realizes. Like I mentioned earlier, Dante the Great is a lot different than all the other tapes that we've seen. And I say that because rather than the usual, you know, like we're watching footage that someone recorded, it's presented in more of like a documentary type style. And I think the thing that people are talking about the most is towards the end, it actually breaks the found footage concept and goes into a more traditional film style. When you're watching it though, it's really not a big deal because you're so into the story. It's actually a really good short and you won't even really think anything of it. The next tape that we see is called Parallel Monsters. All the tapes that we see in VHS Viral are awesome in their own way, but I would have to say that Parallel Monsters is probably the best one. Basically, it's about this guy who creates a doorway into an alternate universe. And when he opens the doorway, he finds the alternate version of himself, and they decide to go into each other's universes. Everything seems to be fine and normal and exactly the same at first, but then our main character finds out that things are actually way different and not good. I really enjoyed this segment because I feel like it stuck to what the vibe of VHS is usually all about. It had that creepy feel to it and like built a lot of suspense, kind of like Safe Haven in VHS 2. I don't think that I would say it's on par with Safe Haven, but it's definitely going to be the one that most people enjoy. The last tape that we see in the film is called Bone Storm. This one's basically about a few kids who are trying to make a skateboarding tape, and they get kicked out of everywhere they're filming, and they decide to go to Tijuana to finish it. And as you would suspect, one thing leads to another, and stuff gets crazy real fast. This one definitely has a creepy factor to it, but I don't think I would necessarily say that it's scary. It has more of like an action feel to it than a scary feel to it. The only real problem I had with Bone Storm is it seemed like once all the crazy stuff started happening, it just kind of all happened real quick and then it was over before you knew it. It had a really cool story to it and everything, but it all happened so quick and then it's just over and you're kind of left feeling like, you know, you wish they would have developed the story a little bit better, and you know, you just wish there would have been more to it. But other than that, it was a fun segment, which I'm sure is what they were going for. All in all, I wouldn't really say that there's anything that stood out to me in particular in this movie. Like, there wasn't anything that really would make its mark in horror movie history. But like I said, it was still a good time. I still really enjoyed it for what it was. Now, like I was saying earlier, Todd Lincoln was supposed to have had a segment in this movie. When they first announced VHS Viral, his name was included in the poster, as well as his scenes were included in the trailer. But people who went to early screenings noticed right away that his segment was absent from the film, as well as his name was absent from the credits. A lot of people, as well as myself, are wondering why he got cut from the film. A lot of people are saying maybe his segment wasn't finished on time, or maybe it wasn't good enough. Nobody's put out any official statements about it, so hopefully we find out something, or maybe they'll at least put, you know, an extra on the DVD and Blu-ray release, so we'll get to see it eventually. Anyway, like I said, all in all, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, and I would recommend you guys see it if you're a fan of the first two movies. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to watch VHS Viral when it comes out on video on demand October 23rd. Alright, I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.